This is the plaintiff, Harry Noreen. He says the defendants were tenants of his, and they never paid their rent on time, and he was forced to evict them. When they left, they put a combination lock on the inside of the door and then jumped out of the window, essentially locking him out of his own apartment. They also left a bunch of junk behind, and he's out $5,000 because of all their shenanigans. These are the defendants, Antonio Farina and Kima Clark. Antonio says the plaintiff's nothing but a big fat liar. The apartment he rented from him was a fire trap. In fact, their daughter burned her foot when one of the outlets exploded. When they complained to the plaintiff, the hothead called them a bad word and then evicted them. Oh, that guy money? No way, man. They're accused of locking out a landlord.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff says the defendants were his tenants and they were a disaster. He evicted them, but not before they trashed the place. But the defendants say the place was a fire trap. An exploding outlet burned their daughter. It's the case of You Burned Me Up.
Harry Noreen,
Yes.
you are suing Antonio Farina and Kima Clark for $5,000 that you say they owe you in rent and damages when they left your apartment. Tell me what's going on.
In 2010, I rent the apartment to the defendant, and ever since they have difficulty paying the rent. They always pay partial, and I allow it. Sometimes 2 times, 3 times. I make a note, and I give them a receipt at the end of the month. And it continued like that for a while till the following year, around March, April, when he lost his job and he started getting behind.
And that was when, in March of 2011 or 2012?
2011.
2011,
Yeah.
okay.
I get a good feeling it will not work out.
Okay.
So I evict them for non-payment of the rent in August 2000.
In August,
2000.
in August is when you filed, or in August is when you...
When I file.
Oh, you filed in August, okay. And then?
Then we went to housing court and we signed a stipulated agreement, and they were supposed to leave on the 21st of September 2011. They did not. They were supposed to leave the apartment broom clean. They did not. They're supposed to return the key.
Do you have that stipulation?
Yes.
May I see it?
Just this?
Yes,
Okay.
for now.
Okay.
Do you have an original?
No,
Okay.
the court keep the original, and I get a copy, and the defendant have a copy.
Do you have a copy of the stipulation?
No, we do not.
You should always keep papers like that. All right, so did the final agreement include rent?
No, I will have to take him to a small claim court to get my back rent. This is just, the court is ordering him to leave, and that's the agreement. He's
Okay.
supposed to leave on the 21st of September.
Did they leave?
No, they did not.
How did they finally leave then?
Well, I had to go back to the court and get a summary eviction to go
Okay.
to the marshal.
Okay.
The judge signed off on that.
May I see that? Okay, and then what happened?
The next step, if I want the marshal to throw them out physically, I have to pay the state marshal $800.
Right.
Money that I don't have. So I decided to wait it out a little, see if they could move by themselves.
You waited it out until when?
Till around the first week in October.
Okay.
Then my second floor tenant told me other people is still living there. So I decided to create a ruse. I put a notice on the
You did?
I
Good
said,
one.
That the state marshal will come the following day.
You created a
I write
state marshal notice? That's what they were waiting for, so that's a good move.
No, I write a small note. So the marshal will be here the next day.
I know, I wonder if that violates anything. I'm not sure that it does. So you put it on the thing, and that worked.
It worked.
All right. So finally, the place is unoccupied by them and all their relatives in October, according to. I'll hear your side in a moment. According to you, it's finally unoccupied in October.
It was occupied up to.
Okay, so you're suing for rent for August, September, and October that you say they didn't pay.
Right.
And then when you did get in there in October, according to you, there were damages. Tell me what those are.
Well, normally tenant when they leave, what they want they take, what they don't want they leave there.
Well, not necessarily, but show me pictures of what so they left a lot of junk behind, you're saying? And what about the keys you're suing
Well,
for?
as a matter of fact, they changed the lock. They never returned the key. So my locksmith had to cut the lock to get into the apartment.
Okay. And then what is the $2,265 in punitive damages?
Well, Your Honor, they didn't abide by the court order.
So what? How does that make a claim triple its size or double its size? You can't just do that. You can't just mushroom your claim into double because you're angry. What is that I'm looking at?
That's the floor of the kitchen. Just a part of it.
Oh, a tile? So these are 12 by 12?
Yes.
Okay, there's an outlet
Just
for...
a small part.
Yeah. Okay, talk to me. What's going on?
How are you, Your Honor? Would you like to? First of all, I would just like to say that we didn't move out in October. We moved out between the 10th and 14th of September. We moved out.
Can you prove that?
I forgot the paperwork at my job, so
That's
I
a problem for you
apologize.
because I'm seeing
Absolutely.
that on the 21st, I'm sorry, on the 22nd, he went to court, which takes time and effort and trouble and money to get an additional order from the judge to get you out. Landlords don't do that if the place is empty.
No,
so did you leave other people behind who have been living with you?
No, we did.
Right.
We had just our kids.
So it
living
makes it
with us.
kind of hard to believe that you really were out and that he'd go through that effort.
Go ahead.
What happened? What went wrong?
Yes, like he said, my husband was in between jobs.
Okay.
He was working with us with the rent and everything like that.
Right.
On September 5th, there was a previous issue with the electricity. He eventually had his own electrician come up and look. He said the place needed some rewiring, that he would get back to Harry with some numbers and they'll go from there.
That was when?
April or May.
Okay.
The electrician never came back. On September 5th, my son was sitting on the couch. His computer was plugged in, and my daughter was sitting on the arm of the couch looking at him. What happened, I don't know. All I know is that something happened in the wall with the electricity, that the outlet ignited, caught fire, whatever have you. My daughter ended up getting a 2nd and 3rd degree burn on her toe.
Oh, goodness. How old is she?
She was, she just turned 4 at the time.
Poor thing.
Anyways,
But
so
I'm not understanding. She was that close to the outlet and the outlet went on fire?
Because the sofa was like right here. The outlet is right there next to the wall.
So she's that close to the outlet?
She was sitting
Okay.
on the arm of the sofa looking at my son play video games on the
Okay.
computer.
Okay.
To make a long story short.
You took her to the hospital?
Yes.
Did they treat the burn?
She was treated.
Is she doing okay?
Yes.
Okay.
She's okay now. When the ambulance came, they have police and the fire department comes as first response. The fire marshal checked the outlet, the wall outlet. He did whatever he needed to do in the
Do you
apartment.
have the fire marshal's report?
No. Everything we
Did
had.
you bring anything?
Everything we had, we submitted to our attorneys in a
Great.
lawsuit.
So tell your attorney you're going to court, and you need your paperwork. All right,
that
go
went
on.
against him. Anyway,
What do you mean your attorney against him?
we had a lawsuit against him
For the
for
burns?
negligence towards my daughter.
What happened with that lawsuit?
We won the lawsuit
Okay, when did you file the lawsuit?
because the fire
I'm
marshal.
sorry, when did it happen again? In September?
September 5th, it happened.
Okay. How did you win the case? Because that's too fast. Cases don't go to trial that fast.
Right.
Did he settle?
I guess his insurance company settled.
Settled. Okay.
Right.
And they settled for what?
$4,200.
Okay.
My attorney, I guess, was going for $5,000.
Okay.
We settled for $4,200
Yeah, and you're
instead
done.
of going.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, okay. And that all happened between September and what?
March of this year.
Okay. So is your implication that he's just suing you for rent now because you won that case against his insurance
That's
company?
my implication. Going back to when it happened, when he said we were still in the apartment, the fire marshal himself, his name is Fire Marshal Pina, is his last name. He
What's his name?
rented Fire Marshal Pina. That's his last
Pina.
name. Pina.
Peña.
I'm sorry. I just know how I pronounced it.
You won't believe what the rest of us do. Go ahead.
He shut off the power and red tagged our breaker box, whatever that is. And he said that the electricity could not be turned back on in that apartment until he rewired that place.
Did you rewire the place?
That's everything what she says is incorrect.
Did the fire marshal order you to rewire the place?
No. The
Okay.
fire
Do
mark.
you can you prove what you're saying? I'm with you. I'm behind you all the way.
Okay.
Hand me the proof. I mean, but this isn't
I
hard,
understand.
folks.
I understand.
If you don't have the documents, you call your lawyer. You tell your lawyer, I have to be in court. I need the documents. You call the city and you say, can you fax me the document? You go to the city and you say, I have to be in court tomorrow. Give me the document. Because otherwise, I can't just accept that you say that when he denies it. You have to prove it.
No.
Okay.
I
But
understand that.
but clearly. I mean, they're not making up about your insurance company settling,
Oh, no,
finding you to be negligent in maintaining the place, right?
No. They,
All right. So that happened. All right. Now, let me just ask you this. You claim you were out in September, but you agree you didn't pay August or September rent.
No, we did not.
Okay. So you are agreeing that you owe 2 months' rent.
Well, we agree we owe about a month's rent
Why a month?
because we paid him some of August.
What did you pay in August?
It wasn't much. I think we paid like probably half. We were paying.
No, you
what,
have to prove what you
$750?
paid because he's denying you paid August. Do you
No,
deny
I
they
know
paid
that.
August, or
I'm
do you
like,
agree with it?
He's denying.
Your Honor, if they pay maybe $100. Because
How do you guys not know
Be-
what they paid you, or if you paid him, and how much you paid? How do you people live
At
like
the
this?
time, actually, we don't. At the time when it all happened,
No,
we moved
I don't.
out
Wait,
of
wait.
here
But let me just
and-
be clear. By like this, I do not mean struggling out of work. Or like a lot of Americans
I
are.
understand.
What I mean is not knowing what the heck is going on in your life. You need to still know I paid you $100. Here's my receipt. Because it doesn't cost money to get a receipt. You grab your child's crayon and the toilet paper from your bathroom and you write a receipt for the $100 and then you know how much you paid. And you should know as a businessman, because you've got to claim it in your taxes, right? You do pay taxes on your rent, right?
I
As a
do,
landlord.
yeah.
Okay, so you should know how much you're collecting from them. I said, if they paid $100. I don't know.
Yeah,
And you, I don't know. We paid something. What we paid? What we paid? Asking your partner what you paid. I mean, it's crazy.
No, I
You
understand.
understand what I'm
that.
saying?
I mean, every
it's
lesson
free
is
to get a
lesson
receipt. You
learned.
never pay cash without a receipt. Did you pay with a check or cash?
No, we was paid cash.
But you don't know how much you paid.
Your
Okay.
Honor, if I might just add, when he pay partial payment, I will make a note of it.
Where is your notes? Where are your notes?
I didn't bring the.
Now why do we need the notes? Notes, schmotes. Why do we need notes? We're in court. Why does anybody think they need any evidence?
So these defendants say they paid cash. They have no receipt. Are they out of luck?
They are out of luck. They should always have a receipt or have someone prove it as of being a witness. But they
Okay,
should.
if you don't have a receipt, what do you do? I mean, what are the other ways of protecting yourself?
You can't. It's your responsibility to get a receipt.
Okay, but what are the other ways of protecting yourself just to make sure that you have some proof? Pretty simple.
You use a check or
There you go.
card.
Credit card. Okay, ding, ding, ding. Going inside the courtroom.
Did you return the keys?
Yes, we did.
How'd you return
We
the
were
keys?
instructed to leave the keys on the counter, on the kitchen
Do you have
counter.
a picture of did you take pictures of how you left the place? Because I'm looking at pictures where it's kind of messy and dirty and filthy. And there's a lot of junk. Did you leave that stuff behind?
Okay,
I'll
and
bring
from what
them
I'm
right
looking
over.
for, one of them I seen of a floor. We didn't even have that floor in our apartment.
Okay, I'm gonna show you these pictures and just tell me if you left the stuff that's in the pictures behind.
It's not even the same house we lived in.
This is not my apartment.
That is not.
This is not the apartment we lived in.
How many apartments do you
Look
own?
at that floor right
I
there.
own 2 buildings, 3 units each.
No,
3 units, so you own 6 units.
That is not.
This is not the apartment we lived in. Not at all.
We did not
That
live in that
floor,
apartment.
we did not have.
That's their apartment.
Your Honor, the
What
floor.
apartment is it?
The third floor, 269 Street.
Say it again.
269 Street.
Was that where you lived?
271 Street.
269-271 Street.
Were you on the 3rd floor of the building?
Yes, we were.
Okay. That's the, so he did give the right address, right?
Oh, that-
I guess. Okay.
Did you know your insurance company settled with them for the-
Yes, I have the release here, Your Honor. But this
All right.
has nothing to do with retaliation.
All right, so then you got their address that way and then filed this lawsuit against them.
Exactly.
All right, and what did you pay to remove, why is it $500 to remove the junk?
I do it myself. I just,
So why'd you pick, why didn't you pick $1 million?
I do a minor repair. I never mentioned it.
And you absolutely cannot prove the day you moved?
No.
Okay, let me just give you some advice if you're going to continue to be renters. What you want to do is you want to take video of how you leave a place, okay? And you want to be able to prove the day that you left a place. And some people do that by holding up the newspaper. Some people do that by having witnesses to them. Some people do that by keeping the receipts for the U-Haul that they rented. There's lots of different ways to do it. Okay, or they film the newscast that's going on right now, or the date on their computer, something. So keep that in mind for the next time if you leave a place clean. If you leave a place like this, there may be an issue. I got to tell you, when I'm trying to decide who to believe, I've got to go on the little things when no one brings me absolute proof. And it's not a little thing. It's actually a pretty big thing that after September 21st, that he goes to court 2 days later and goes through all of the time, waste of time and everything else to court to get you out and get another order from the judge. Because if you had been out, there's no reason to waste your time like that and money and efforts. Therefore, I find in favor of the defendant in the amount of the rent for August, September, and October. The rent was $700, right? Do you have a security deposit with him? Mm-hmm. How much was the security deposit?
$700.
Is that accurate? Or they used it?
$675.
Did you use it? Did you use it on a prior month to live? Like, was there another month you owed money?
No.
What's your version on that?
Well, they use it as rent.
For what month?
I can't remember, Your Honor.
No, I need you to prove it to me.
I can't prove that.
Okay. Is it me?
Not even close.
You have to be able to prove to me, otherwise I have to credit them the $700 of their security deposit. You can't prove to me when they used it for rent?
I can't remember which.
Can I just ask you a question? When it's time for you to do your taxes, you don't record what you got and what you didn't get?
When they pay like cash, so I will make a note each time they pay 2 or 3.
So show me your notes.
I didn't bring it.
Because you plan on telling the IRS that you didn't get any money? Like, how does this work?
At the end of the month, when they pay the full amount, I give them a receipt. Then I go into my ledger.
What's good for the goose is good for the gander. Okay? And if I tell them, well, you don't have proof you moved out early, then you can't prove that. You don't have proof that they lived out their 700.
I agree.
Gotcha. Okie dokie. I find in favor of the plaintiff reducing the amount of the security deposit and adding in the amount of the keys, because I think that the circumstances under which you left do not really indicate broom clean condition and keys on a counter, to be perfectly frank. I find in favor of the plaintiff in the amount of $1,500. That's my judgment.
So the plaintiff has won the case. Not everything he sued for, the defendant right here. What's your reaction to him getting away with that money?
He's just a liar. There's nothing else I could say about it. That's all I have to say.
Nobody has any evidence to prove anything here.
No, absolutely, we should have. Now we know now. Next time we'll be more responsible about it.
Okay. All right. All right. Head right down.
That's right.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Head right down there. Sir, come on in here. You sued for a lot more than you got, but you got something out of this. Are you satisfied?
I'm satisfied, with the limited evidence and, it is.
Yeah, limited evidence and almost no evidence. Few photos, and they say that's even of another apartment.
Well, that's what they'll say. They have to come up with a defense.
What about that outlet catching fire?
Oh, well, I take care of that.
Yeah, but that could have, what could have happened with a child right there? Could have been a lot worse.
It could have, but I didn't control it. It's in the wall. It's an accident.
All right.
My insurance take care.
All right, what do you got, Howard?
Okay, let me just say, if you're just kind of sitting back passively and watching this, you're crazy. Always have proof of what you paid. I'm telling you, you will go down a bad road if you don't. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.